This is Pastor E.S. Upchurch, also known as Mwalimu Asa DjehutiRa. And we're delighted to be with you here on WKHR Radio. We have a wonderful show coming up, and we just want to say to all the family that we absolutely love and appreciate your patronizing us. Thank you for your support. Thank you for the DVDs, and thank you for the audio lectures that you order. We appreciate your help. I want to say that we have an exciting show, and of course, just before we get started, we of course want to give all respect and all due honor to those that have gone on before us. We do not speak ill of the dead, but rather we recount their positive and good deeds. And not only this, brothers and sisters, but we honor in the Kemetic language what we call the Shepsu. We honor those that are the enlightened ancestors, those that have arisen in light, those that walked in Ma'at, and so we honor them, and we say peace and blessings unto the ancestors. And as well, we honor what is also called in the Kemetic tongue the Aku. These are the high risen ones, the beings of light. Some have called them spirit guides, some have called them many things, some have called them angels, but we honor them. These are those that need not ever reincarnate ever again. These are those that are with us, that lead us, guide us, and protect us. And so we honor them, and we say in the tradition of the African village, O ancestors, blacker than 1,000 midnights, it is to you, we your children, give respect and give honor. You who have been purposely excluded from the history books so that the world would not know of your greatness, we respect you. Let your presence fill this place. Be a part of what we are doing. You who gave civilization to the world, you who gave art, music, medicine, you who gave literature, you who gave the sciences to the world, you who gave philosophy and God consciousness to the world. We honor you, and we say that we will not betray you, we will not forsake you, we will not fail to hear you, we will not fail to honor you. And to this we say, Ashe. Well, family, we're delighted to be with you once again, and you know what? This is Tracing the Steps of Truth podcast, and I am your host, Pastor E.S. Upchurch, also known as Mwalimu Asa DjehutiRa, which simply means a divine teacher that manifests in the incarnation of Jehuti, or what we might like to say the spiritual energy of Jehuti. And of course, that is what the Creator has given unto us. And you know, it really goes back to my testimony of that having been weighed in the balance and found to be him that is true of speech. I had an opportunity to see Ma'at, and I had an opportunity to also as well witness my soul being weighed against the feather of Ma'at. And you know what? In this particular spiritual epic, I also got an opportunity to take the place of Jehuti and actually document the judgment of another heart. And so basically, to put it short, this is my spiritual heritage, and I'm glad to share it with you. Where we're here, and of course, this is a wonderful day. We are glad to be here once again. The Creator has honored us and given us another day's approval. This is September the 8th in the year 6248 AFK, after the founding of Kemet, and we have a wonderful show. Our show, family, is none other than Consciousness Pimps 2. For those of you that remember the show that we did before, hey, you know, I played a little number that I did. No, I ain't gonna play it this time, for those of you that are wondering. But nonetheless, you know, I did have the opportunity to speak with Dr. Ray Hagins, and he is going to be our guest. He is our guest, and we're just going to, you know, really have a wonderful time, because there's a number of issues that we need to talk about. Now listen, family, just before I get going here, all right, we want to give you the methods by means to contact us, okay? For those of you that are familiar with the website, you can feel free to go to the website and you can contact me via email through the website. Now, for those of you that want me to read your questions or your comments on the air, I'm asking that you type your whatever it is that you want. Type it in red, okay? That way I will know that it's for me to read, okay? As opposed to just a message to me. Now, those of you that are in the Ma'at chat room through the website, want to give a shout out to DjehutiRa, who says Sutek Africans. Also, Dautru, who is also here in the chat room. We want to just, give a shout out to them. And as well, if you are in the chat room, we need you, okay, to once again type in your questions and your comments on the air. Now, for those of you that are listening to WKHR Radio, of course, we're very happy to have you with us. And at the same time, we're simulcasting through WBLR. That's right, we're simulcasting through WBLR. And we're very delighted to be doing so. And we just want to really, I tell you, this is a wonderful thing that's happening. And we want to give a shout out to all of you that are listening. Feel free to contact us either through the chat room or through email. And if you want to hop online with us and be a part of the conversation, you can by simply dialing 877-458-9547. 877-458-9547. And if you should by chance, listen family, if you should by chance have a problem listening to WKHR, because we are stretching our bandwidth, like, we're delighted to be simulcasting with WBLR, and we are simulcasting with them thanks to Dr. Ray Hagins, who is our spiritual leader at the African Village. And, if you have a problem with WKHR, then go to WBLR.com. And so we're delighted to have you. In fact, we're just going to kind of dig in here. And first of all, let me welcome our guest that we have on the line. Dr. Ray Hagins.
My brother, Ma'at Hotep.
Ma'at Hotep, my brother.
How you doing, man?
Oh, hey, Blacktastic. We're doing Blacktastic.
That's great. And it's good to be with you, man, again. It's just been a great weekend. What can I tell you, man?
Yeah, oh, yes, it has been a great weekend. And, I want to say again, thank you very much for inviting me to be on your show yesterday. And, once again, we were just so honored to have you and the family with us here in Milwaukee. In fact, it's like a dream come true. And so we do appreciate the fact that you were able to be with us.
Man, it was a blessing to be there, Upchurch, I tell you, man. And again, I see what God is doing. The goddess force of the universe is doing through this movement, man. And as I told you, I'm just honored, man, and I'm sure you feel the same way. We're just honored, brother, to just be instruments.
Yes.
I should say, two of many instruments.
Yes.
In the hands of the Creator,
yes.
Man, for this move, of resurrecting our people.
Yeah, and I of course agree, and I really do feel the same way. I'm honored to be a part of this movement. I'm honored to be a part of what's going on. Yeah, but of course, as it would be in the universe, there are those who, despite the fact that something positive is going on, there's always those that perhaps have questions. There are some that need a little bit more clarity. And there's others, there are those others that are just downright, haters.
Exactly, yeah. But that's good, though, man. That's called the balance.
Yes.
As we were all raised to understand, you got to beware, man, when everybody speaks good of you, man.
Yeah, true.
My thing is, and as I said Sunday, you can't stop birds from flying over your head, but you can stop them from building nests in your hair.
Yes.
See, and there are those out there, as you just said, man, they're haters. And one of the things, and I hope that we kind of touch on is for people to understand what jealousy is.
Okay.
Jealousy is a spirit, man, And jealousy always, the first step to jealousy is called envy. You know, and the deep thing about envy, man, is it cannot be helped. The best of us, I don't care who we are, man, the best of us, if we're not careful, we will find ourselves envious of someone else.
Very true.
You know, and then at that point is where we need to have spiritual discipline, so that envy does not turn into jealousy. Because once envy turns into jealousy, then it literally takes charge of your behavior pattern,
yes,
and your speech pattern. You know, and you begin to think and say and do things, man, that are really outside of the parameters of my opt.
Well, you know, and thank you for sharing that. You know, what I want to do is, you know what, I'm thinking that there just might be someone that are out there listening that is not really familiar with the intimacies of your call and your dedication and your commitment. You know, can you just, you know, I know that there's a lot of people that do know about your transition. There's a lot of people that do know about your dedication. But for those that don't, what would you say to those that don't? How would you introduce yourself to those that aren't aware?
Oh, man, I would introduce myself to those who are not aware of who I am and what I'm about. I guess what I would say, it's easier for others to introduce a person, but what I would say about myself is, man, I'm just a brother out here trying to open the eyes of my people. You know, I mean, that's it.
Okay, so
that's exactly what I would say.
So you're not trying to subvert, and you're not trying to ease into other people's territories and take over their so-called territories.
Well, let's say it this way, brother. If I was trying to do that, I wouldn't say that I am.
Okay.
Right?
True.
I mean, okay. And the only thing I can say to people is, and again, it's back to a principle that we both preached for many years of church, and that is, a tree is known by the fruit that it bears.
Ah, yes.
Okay? If you want to know if this is an apple tree or not, look for some apples, man. You know, if the person wants to know if I'm subversive, ask the question, who am I trying to subvert? What have I said about anybody that would try to damage their character or their influence? You see?
Yeah.
I mean, there are brothers, and I'm gonna go ahead and say brothers, because actually, and hopefully, you know, I would really like for us to go here tonight, if you don't mind, on your show.
Ahead.
A lot of things I have refrained from addressing and talking about. You know, despite a lot of the stuff that's said by so-called conscious people about me. And one of the things that one of the philosophies that I hold to, as I said last night on the show, is never judge a person by what people say about them, but always judge a person by how they speak about other people.
That's good.
You know, and one of the things that you know, a lot has been said, and brother, I guess I just have not taken the time to address a lot of the accusations made against me by other so-called conscious brothers, lecturers out here, is because I don't have time for that.
Yes.
You know, I'm busy, man. I'm trying to heal my people. I'm trying to teach the truth, man.
Ashe.
You know, it's almost like and again, I have to go back to a story that I'm sure you know of, and most Christianized people might know of this story. In the book of Nehemiah, in the Bible, Nehemiah saw that there was a work that had to be done. Okay, and now mind you, again, I repeat, this is a story, but there's a serious lesson in it.
Yes.
Nehemiah saw that there was a work that had to be done for the security of the people.
Yes.
You know, the walls of the city had been torn down, and the people were vulnerable to attack.
Yes.
And Nehemiah took it upon himself, man. He went to the king and got permission to rebuild the wall. Right? Well,
yes.
When certain people who were very popular, okay, the Geshems and the Sanballats and the Tobias, when they saw that Nehemiah, okay, who wasn't a part of their group, took it upon himself to rebuild this wall, and he went and got some other people to help him, and the people he got to help them was not the Geshems, the Tobias, and the Sanballats. These Geshems and Tobias and Sanballats got together among themselves and said, you know, this man is trying to take our glory. He's trying to do what we do.
Yes.
You know, and so they started passing rumors around about the dude, and then they sent messengers to Nehemiah and said, listen, come down and talk with us so we can straighten this stuff out. And Nehemiah said, sent the messengers back to them. He said, listen, you go back and tell them, and here's exactly what it says. I am doing a great work.
Yes.
And I will not come down. Then he goes on to say, why should the work cease while I leave it and come down to you to talk about stuff when I know you don't mean me no good anyway?
Exactly. And
you see? And that's really been my attitude about all of the accusations, so-called people out here who call themselves conscious lecturers and stuff, man.
Yeah.
I like the title that you have here, Conscious Pimps. Let's call it like it is.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you know, let's take the gloves off tonight. Let the hair down. Let's deal with this stuff.
All right.
I have no problem with that.
And you know, I want to say, you know, you've got to know that I understand your philosophy and I understand where you're coming from. And even though I don't know the in-depth reasons to everything that you do, I yet understand your philosophy, I understand your flow, and we're of like heart and of like mind.
Exactly. And I really do believe, brother, that's one of the reasons why God brought us together.
Yes.
See? I mean, and if you notice, and I'm sure you understand, maybe other people out there don't understand, I have not reached out to certain people who classify themselves as lecturers or teachers of African consciousness or Afro-Kemetic philosophical thought. I have not reached out to many of them and asked them to come aboard with, you know, as a teacher or presenter in the African village. And I haven't done that, man, because the first thing that's a prerequisite for me, Upchurch, the very first thing that's a prerequisite for me, and as far as this movement, as far as our people, man, is that our leaders have a vital experience and relationship with God.
Yes.
Okay? That's the first thing. I'm not interested in how much information you have acquired about African philosophical thought.
See, that's good right there.
Anybody can pick up a book and become informed. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
But I'm looking for brothers and sisters, man, whose lives have been transformed, brother, by the power of God.
And see, there's many that have just heard about Kemet and heard about truth and heard about God consciousness, but have never really had a transforming moment being shaped in the hands of the Creator, of the God.
Exactly. And the evidence of that is how they go around trying to hurt other people. When you've had a vital relationship with God, brother, you don't have an attitude of trying. Character assassination is not a part of your viscera.
Yes.
You see? And no, man, you don't do that, brother. You know, you just don't do that. So let's do it.
Well, true. And that's, you know, one of the reasons why I really appreciate your being on here tonight is because I do understand your philosophy. And I understand, I mean, you know, we have had a number of conversations time and time again, and we have a real good understanding. But I wanted to address some things tonight.
Go right ahead.
And in the first show, you know, we just called out names, we put the cards on the table, and we dealt with it.
Good.
In the first show, I called out the fact that Phil Valentine labeled you as a mole without having heard a single lecture, without having called you, without even having, I mean, and here's someone that will tell you about Ma'at, someone that will vociferously, as he likes to say, articulate Ma'at, but yet and still, you know, we have to ask ourselves the question, where is the demonstration of Ma'at? And when I brought it to the attention of this brother, you know, how come he didn't call you if he had an offense with you? He asked me the question, well, how come he didn't call me?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
The reason why I say that's interesting is because, first of all, I don't even know Phil Valentine. I don't have his phone number to call him. And you know, the first time I heard about this is Brother Sonetter, man, in New York.
Yes. Yeah.
Called me, and he was very disturbed about some things that Phil Valentine had said, and he told me that the entire audience that was at that lecture was also disturbed with Phil Valentine, because a lot of people in New York love me, man.
Yeah.
You know? And I was sorry to hear that even happened, because Phil doesn't know me. We've never talked. I mean, you know, and I can't even speak to Phil. You know, it goes like this, man. You know, whoever the brother is, I mean, I have heard his name, but I don't know anything about him.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But he adds nothing to me, and he doesn't take anything from me. So, therefore, it's not a concern to me.
Okay.
But what does concern me is the brothers and sisters out here who we're trying to resurrect, man. The brothers and sisters out here who we're trying to bring right consciousness to. Let me do this. Give me how much. We got time to talk?
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Man, I had a very an experience in my life, man, that I will never ever get over. It's a constant reminder to me, especially when this kind of stuff happens.
Okay.
When I first started coming into consciousness, man, see, I was working in ministry along with my mom, you know, and this was actually before I started coming into consciousness. I started a community study group. It was called Come As You Are Bible Study.
Okay.
Okay, and I would hold it at the YWCA in Paterson, New Jersey. And the reason why I started this study, Upchurch, is because I wanted to have I wanted to create a platform where people could do just what it said, come as you are, to learn the truth.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because my mom was very strict about the attire you wore to church and all this kind of stuff. Women couldn't wear pants and all that kind of stuff, right?
Gotcha.
So I started this study on a neutral night when we weren't having services or anything in the community. It was called Come As You Are Bibles, and people would come in, women would come with rollers in their hair, guys would come straight from work, man, with their work clothes on.
Yeah.
It was very, very, you know, it was growing like crazy. And there was a brother who came to the study. His name was Larry Sinclair. He was a drug addict, man, and his life was transformed through those classes. And what I was hoping to do, what I did do, is when people would come to those classes, after hearing the truth, then I would redirect them back to our church.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this brother, Larry Sinclair, good brother, man. He came, attended the studies. He got off drugs, man. You know, he became a recovering addict. And he said, Brother Ray, I want to go to your church. So I said, come on with me, Larry. You know, and I took him to the church, introduced him to my mom, and he adopted my mother as his other mother.
Wow.
Okay? And then, man, when I started becoming conscious, okay, of course my mom had a problem with that.
Yeah.
You know, she called me the Antichrist and all that kind of stuff. My mom got up in church, man, you know, and spoke so negatively about me in this new teaching that I'm doing.
Okay.
Larry was sitting there that night when she did that. Okay? It almost brings me to tears now talking about it, man. Larry was sitting there that night when my mom decided to let everybody know that I had lost my mind.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay? Larry and my mother and I were Larry's heroes.
Yes. Yes.
You follow me?
Yes, I do.
And just to witness my mother talking about me like that devastated him so bad, Upchurch, that he left church that night and he called me. I wasn't there. He called me, but I was busy working on something. I think I was doing a recording session or something, man. I saw his number and I said, I'll call him back later. When I called him back, man, he was dead.
Oh, man. Come on, man.
Oh, man. You know, He couldn't take it, man. He couldn't take seeing two people that he looked up to attack each other. And he went to deal with it, man. He went and got some drugs, and he overdosed, man.
Oh, man.
You know? And that, I live with that, you know? And I would never, ever allow myself to speak against another person that I know someone else might look up to. You follow what I'm saying, brother?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
You know, and those brothers or whoever they are out there that feel that they have to assassinate my character, I wonder, like you said, who's the real mole, man?
Yeah, exactly.
Because if we really care about the people, you know, I mean, I did a lecture, man. I forgot what city I was in, you know, and I know what's going on, man. You know, I hear what's going on.
Yeah.
And somebody in the audience just came straight out and asked me during my Q&A. So, Brother Ray, what's your feelings about Afro Quasi?
Oh, man. Okay.
You know, I knew what was going on, man.
Yeah.
And you know what I said?
Yeah.
In fact, I was in Chicago, man. That's where I was. I told the whole world. Here's my exact words. I said, Brother Quasi is a fantastic historian and a great lecturer. Period.
Yes.
That's all I had to say, man. I had nothing else to say after that. I knew what they wanted me to say, but I wasn't going to do it, man. Because we don't need to be doing that mess, bro.
True.
You know, and I'll be honest with you. If I was to do something like that, if I was to speak against Afro, if I was to speak against Phil Valentine or anybody, man, then I would expect the community to put a stop to it.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
I would expect the community to stop supporting me if I'm going to tear down another African man.
Well, see,
unless I got evidence to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's different between standing up in the name of Ma'at for justice and truth and righteousness. It's a difference between standing up in Ma'at, having the evidence, and doing something for the good of all.
Exactly, brother.
As opposed to just...
And you know, what's really deep here, man, is and Upchurch, you know, I mean, you've been here, you've experienced my work.
Yes.
Like I said, you know a tree by the fruit it bears.
Yes, exactly.
You see what I'm saying? Everybody who has been to the village, I mean, man, we got Black Liberation Radio, Black Liberation Radio 2. Man, we've been airing for 10 years now. Man, this is my life, man. This is my life, you know. And I ain't saying that to defend myself. I don't need to do that. But I don't understand how people who know of what I'm doing could dare even buy into this stuff, man.
Yeah,
you know?
and you know, it's really, really interesting because in a conversation that I had with my queen, Anka Sanaman, you know, we had a conversation on the way home, and it's like, you know, when there's a preacher, no, I'm sorry, I had this conversation, my queen was present, but I had this conversation with a dear brother here by the name of Brother Earl, who owns a bookstore, who was also there to hear you Friday night. And we had a conversation, and it's like, you know, it's almost like damned if you do and damned if you don't. When you're a Christian minister, they say, well, you know what, you ought to be conscious. But then when you become conscious,
right.
You know, if you don't do everything that someone thinks that you should do under their brand of consciousness, then they label you as, you know, as whatever. You a sellout, you this, you're that. And there's a lot of information out there that's feeding into this character assassination fest.
Right.
And some of it, which of course I want to talk about. Man, it's hard to believe that it's 7:35 already. But what I want to talk about is, okay, there are some that have addressed certain issues like, well, I heard on one particular DVD that Dr. Hagins said that he was a Shriner or that he was a Mason. These are Greek-oriented, you know, organizations. Therefore, he must be a sellout, and maybe he is a mole.
Wow. Okay. What do I say to that, man?
Yeah.
I mean, like, are the people who are asking these questions, are they Masons? Do they know what Masonry is about?
No, but they've heard, you know, like many, they have heard, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, on that wise, I would have to say, I also heard that. You know, I heard that Masons were the Illuminati. I heard that Masons were behind the murders of key figures. I've heard all that kind of stuff. I've heard that Masons are the people who have plotted the New World Order and plan to, you know.
Yeah.
I've heard all that kind of stuff, man, you know. And yet, the only thing I can say to that, brother, is being a Mason, being a Shriner, you know, in my lodge, and in my oasis, man, hey, man, I have not seen anything like that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm certainly not into that, you know. In fact, let me tell you what means most to me about Masonry, that testified more to me than anything. We had a brother in our lodge, man, a couple of years ago who was involved in a car accident.
Okay.
You know, and he was in intensive care, man, for like 16 months. You know, and this brother was a painter. He had his own business. You know, so he to make a long story short, the lodge, man, paid his mortgage, brother.
Oh, my goodness.
The lodge put food on his table every week. The lodge saw to it that his electric bill got paid.
Wow.
You see, the lodge, you know, that's what I have experienced in Masonry, bro. That's the kind of support and oneness that I've seen among brother Masons. Now, I can't speak to every Mason, okay? For example, let me create another situation. I also know a brother who's a Mason, you know, who raped a 12-year-old girl. Does that mean that Masonry is into raping people? You know?
Okay.
I know a brother who's a Mason, man, who shot and killed somebody. Does that mean that Masonry is into murder? Not at all. Not at all, man. It just means that there are people in Masonry who are in key positions, and they're wicked people. That don't mean that the order is wrong.
True.
You follow what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
Because if the order was wrong, I wouldn't be in it, man.
I hear you.
I mean, it's real simple. You know, there's nothing that I have seen in speculative Masonry at all, brother, that is wrong. And I have researched it quite well. Again, I think what we do is we take the behavior of certain people who may be Masons. For example, let's look at Adam Weishaupt, for example.
Okay.
Who is the founder of the Illuminati. Okay? Adam Weishaupt said to his followers, the things that we do must always be under the disguise of another.
Wow.
Okay, so what Adam Weishaupt and his followers did is they joined the Masonic order. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so what they did, yes, they were Masons, okay? But they were doing their stuff under the disguise of Masonry.
Exactly. And what many people may not understand is that Masonry is the cloak that they use to hide themselves, not to present themselves. Exactly.
You know, so someone may ask, you know, well, then why did he even join the Masonic order? Because I've always been taught against it, man. All my life I was taught it was Masonic and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And really, the truth of the matter is, and this is now my own opinion about this. I can't say I read this anywhere. This is just the result of my conclusive research on this matter. I genuinely believe that people are taught to stay away from Masonry, so that it can remain a close-knit, chosen few kind of organization.
Yeah.
Because the very people who used to teach me to stay away from it, after I became a Mason, I found out they were Masons.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
mean, that's deep.
A lot of preachers in the Church of God in Christ are Masons, man.
That's deep. Because you know we both have our heritage in the Church of God in Christ.
Exactly.
That's deep.
Brother, I remember a few years ago when I went back to New Jersey, I was talking to one of the presiding elders there, and he gave me a sign. He saw the ring on my finger, and he gave me some signs. I said, "Oh, I didn't know you was a Mason." He said, I've been a Mason for over 50 years.
Oh, man.
You know, and I'm saying to myself, well, how is it that you participated in the program of misdirecting us from it, you know? But it's like, this is our special club, and we don't want others in it, you know?
Yeah.
Because if everybody's a Mason, then there's no need to have a Masonic order.
I see. Exactly.
You see? And the whole purpose of Masonry is to be a fraternity, man. You know? And that's really it.
Yeah. And I've heard, and I've even talked to some Masons, and it seems like there's a lot of disinformation out there, a lot of it negative, and it's designed to keep people away, all right?
Exactly.
It's designed to keep people away. And there are some notable people, even in the Black Power movement of the past, who were also Masons and Shriners.
Exactly. Elijah Muhammad was a Shriner, man.
Yes, exactly.
You know, I mean, a lot of people don't know that. I did a lecture in Memphis, and I asked and in fact, it was what am I trying to say? The mosque there in Memphis that invited me to come do the lecture.
Okay.
And the lecture that day was entitled Unity, an Unstoppable Force.
Okay.
Okay, and that was the purpose of it, because they say, you know, people still see me as a Christian preacher. I don't know why, but they were trying to say the church and the mosque coming together in unity, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they had me to come in and speak, and the challenge that I opened my message up with that day was, since I'm talking to Muslims, my challenge was, why did the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teach you to give the greeting, Assalamu alaikum? You know, and nobody could answer me.
Wow.
And so I said, wait a minute, all y'all greet each other by saying Assalamu alaikum. Y'all don't know why y'all say it? Why were y'all taught to say this by Elijah Muhammad? And nobody can answer. So I figured I'd help them understand why. The reason why Elijah Muhammad taught the brothers to greet each other in that way, because especially back in that time era,
yes,
a black man could almost be shot for virtually any reason whatsoever, beat over the head by cops for almost any reason whatsoever. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay, and this brother is trying to raise and resurrect the black man from his dead state. He was trying to raise the black man from a dead horizontal to a living perpendicular.
Yes.
Okay, and knowing the condition of the social conditions that existed for black men, Elijah Muhammad taught his followers to say the phrase that would save their lives in a crisis situation.
Wow.
And which is the greeting of every Shriner. Assalamu alaikum.
Oh, that's deep. And there's a lot of people that didn't know that, I'm sure.
Yeah, man. You know, and a lot. You know, one of the good things I enjoy about being in the Mason and in the craft, even though I don't have much time to participate like I want, because I'm all over the country. But one of the advantages of being a Mason, man, is because I am a Mason, I can talk to other Masons.
Okay.
You follow me?
Yeah.
You can't go and lecture in the lodge if you're not a Mason.
Okay.
You can't even go into a lodge meeting if you're not a Mason.
Well, let me.
You know, so when I did my videotape, the verdict is in. You know, man, I sold hundreds of copies of that videotape to Masonic lodges.
Okay. Yeah.
See, and they because I was a brother, it gave me footing for them to listen to what I had to say.
I got you. Well, let me just address a couple of things here, family. For those of you that are just tuning in, we are speaking with Dr. Ray Hagins, and this is, of course, the Tracing the Steps of Truth broadcast and podcast that you will be able to download on iTunes into your MP3 player. We are speaking with Dr. Ray Hagins. This is Consciousness Pimps #2. I am your host, Pastor E.S. Upchurch, and what I want to do now is I see a lot of messages coming through the chat room, and I see a lot of messages coming through, and bottom line of it is, I need to remind them to type in red, okay? I just want to do a couple of things here. I want to check for email messages for those of you that are trying to contact us via email. And
we're gaining, man.
And we're
hey, man, listen, I'm so glad I'm just sitting on the other end tonight holding the phone. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
And by the way, to those who are listening, to VLR audience, and yours as well, Model Tip family, I love you guys. And, hey, stand by, because the best is yet to come.
Yes, yes. And we have our first caller on the line. Caller, are you there?
Yes, I am.
And, caller, give us your name and let us know where you're calling from.
Well, my name is Stephen, and I'm calling from St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay.
In St. Louis?
Yes, sir.
Hey, okay.
Say hotep to my brothers tonight.
Hotep, man.
Hotep.
I've been pleased to receive the announcement of this radio show tonight, and I found it interesting to know that, you know, the topic of tonight is, you know, with certain brothers, you know, Phil Valentine and others, and some of the words that they have for our brother here, Dr. Ray.
Yeah.
I simply cannot understand how they could feel that and make such comments. I've witnessed this brother through different forms of media, and all I can say is, Brother Ray, I support you. You are right on time. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you, brother.
Yes, sir. And same as you, brother Upchurch.
Well, thank you. Thank you, my brother.
That means a lot to me, man, because this brother is here where I am.
See, yeah.
See what I'm saying? He's from here. I mean, so what can I tell you, man?
Well, I had one question, and I'll keep it short. My question is, how would it be possible for us to be able to reach out to these other brothers, these other camps, reach out to them and say, hey, you know, rather than pick each other apart, how is it that we can all come together through dialogue and discussion and really see the bigger picture, which is to, you know, the further upliftment of our people throughout the country, you know, because in this day and time we have to do something more than just you know, talk down and put down one another.
True.
How you know, I guess my question is, how will we be able to defeat that and come together?
It has to be, first of all, it has to be desired, brother. And I say that because about 3 or 4 months ago, you know, I heard another ripple of some of the comments that Brother Asher Kwesi made about me, and Professor Walter Williams and I were talking about it, you know.
Okay.
And I told Professor Williams, I said, man, you know, what's up with this brother? I mean, what's going on, man? So Professor Williams said to me, he said, Ray, do you want me to talk to him for you? I said, whatever got to be done, because people are being hurt. You see, whatever got to be done. So Professor Walter Williams reached out to Asher Kwesi to talk to him, and Asher Kwesi said he had no desire to sit down and talk.
Wow.
So, I mean, you know, when that kind of thing happens, man, then that means that then again, I wonder who is the subversive. you know?
Yeah.
That, you know, I mean, the most you can do, man, is say, hey, man, let's come together and find out what the problem is here. Because I personally don't see to this day, I don't know what the problem is, other than the fact that I made a videotape, okay, of my trip to Egypt when I was on his tour, and people start buying it like crazy, and he called me and told me that I didn't have his permission to make a videotape.
Wow. Wait, you didn't have his permission?
That's what he told me. Right. And so I told him I didn't need his permission. I mean,
exactly.
And not only that, you know, it's like, Asher knew I was going to make a videotape. I showed him my camera and everything in JFK before we even went to Egypt. And so I told him what I was going to do. Black Eye even offered to use my production equipment to help him with his productions.
Wow.
You know, and when we got back, I made a tape and it started selling like crazy. Called African Evidence That Demands an African Verdict. And Asher called me, man, and, you know, told me that he was upset with me because I made a videotape. And I didn't have his permission to do that. And I said, Asher, hold up, man. Whoa. I said, brother, it was my camera, my video, my film, my tape, all that I paid for. You know, and how do you tell people who pay to go to Egypt that they cannot use the pictures and video? That they, you know, you can't do that, man.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Stuff like that.
Exactly.
You know, and since then, from what I understand, you know, he tells people on their tour, man, they have to sign a statement saying that they will not produce the videotapes that they go. Man, I mean, you know, people who go with me on my tour, they're welcome to make all the tapes they can make, man.
Yeah.
You know, because, I mean, like you, Upchurch, you when you took footage, man, we need to get this information out to as many people as we can, brother.
Exactly.
You know, we ain't got no monopoly on this, man. But then again, brother, like he said to me, he said, man, this is my bread and butter you messing with.
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time?
That's when it all came clear to me. I said, oh, okay, that's what this is about.
Yeah, can you say that one more time? He said what?
He said, this is my bread and butter you messing with. You know, and I said, okay. And brother, listen, I wouldn't lie on the brother. Minister Alice Herndon was sitting right there in the office with me when he said that, man.
Wow.
So you can bear witness to what I'm saying.
So once again, the bottom line is the bottom line.
The bottom line is the bottom line. So when you say conscious pimps, and God, I don't mean to try to call the brother that. I don't mean that. You know, but I'm saying, man, are we out here to really heal our people, or are we out here to try to make a living off of information about Africa?
And that's what I believe people are doing. They are consciousness pimps, and they're using consciousness, okay, to pimp the people, just as they did Black Power, just as they did Christianity.
That ain't no different than preachers who are pimps, man.
Exactly. So they may as well be a Christian, they may as well be a Baptist, they may as well whatever.
Yeah. You know, and this is the first time that I have publicly said that. Because, like I said, you know, I hear it all the time, and when people say stuff, you know, and it's really deep because they're only hearing one side of it.
Yes.
You know, they're only hearing Astro's presentation, you know.
Yeah.
And I just haven't addressed it, man, because to me, it's you know, hey, but, you know, what can I tell you, man?
But see, those that are willing, and brother, thank you very much for the call. Do you have any more questions or comments?
Well, you know, about the Mason Shriner organization, I was just on a trip with my nephew. We were going up to Chicago to pick up his wife and child. And on the way up, he stressed to me that he would like to join and become a Mason, and he asked me a little bit about it. And I joined the Blue Lodge about 10 years ago, but I'm not an active practicing Mason. And so I didn't know how to explain it to him, you know, whether it was a good thing or a bad thing, because I chose to go with, you know, Black African consciousness. And so what I'm asking is, what would be the best benefit to becoming a Mason Shriner and also a Black African conscious being? You know, what should I do?
Yes. Well, brother, what were you in the lodge here in St. Louis?
Yes.
What lodge you hail from?
Like I said, it was over 10 years ago. I don't even know the lodge.
Okay. Okay. Well, actually, in answer to your question, what's the benefit? Number one, the benefit is fraternal properties. You know, you got brothers, man, especially in your time of need. You got brothers that will stand with you because they're bonded to you. You know, and when I say that, man, I don't mean for no crooked, evil, wicked mess. I'm talking about in time of need that we as a people in the community go through, especially in Prince Hall Masonry. That's what I have seen in the 10 years I've been in the craft, man. The second thing would be, I really would love to see you reinstate your, you know, your how can I say it? And your standing, in the order, man. You know, because we need conscious brothers in the order. That's the only way that the brothers in the order are going to become conscious.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? As a result of my videotape, The Verdict Is In, you know, I mean, we got like about 30 or 40 brothers here in St. Louis, man, who are now teaching the African origins. You see what I'm saying? Who have gone to Egypt, man.
Well,
you know,
good.
so the only way we're going to reach the brothers in the order, man, is get in there where they are.
And I've seen the video that The Verdict Is In.
Say that again?
And I have seen the video, The Verdict Is In. And this is all good information. So I think what I'm going to do is grab my nephew, see if we can come down to the African village here in St. Louis on Sunday so that I can introduce him
Right on, man.
Go forth.
Hey, man, be good to see you, brother.
Yes, I believe you are a good man, Dr. Ray, as well as you, Brother Upchurch.
Well,
and,
thank you, brother.
The two of you need as much help as you can get, and you have my hat in the fight. And I'm going to, like I said, my nephew, hopefully he'll be a soldier as well.
Right on. Thanks, brother.
All right. Well, thank you very much, brother.
Thank you. Hotep.
Hotep. Listen, that's what I'm talking about. Those that have actually experienced things. You can't have someone looking from the outside, listening to a whole lot of disinformation. You can't have them being the ones that direct and that teach when they don't know about it.
Right, exactly.
We have another caller. Caller, can you let us know where you're calling from?
Calling from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Javon, brother Javon.
Hey, brother Javon. How you doing?
Brother.
How you doing, brothers?
Doing blacktastic,
Blacktastic,
man.
brother.
Good, man. This is hot, man. This is a hot topic.
That it is.
Brothers, I'm gonna take my time, so maybe hopefully I
calm down,
some
man.
answers out of this. When I did have some questions. I did have some questions for the brother Ray, and actually asked those questions to the chief elder, and our conversation got kind of heated, and because I had some not so much concerns, just inquiries. I just really wanted to know about some things, and I can admit honestly that when you do hear the Masonic the Masonic terminology, you hear anything about the Masonic temple or anything to do with Masons, there is a immediate reservation to a person. It's an immediate thing, like, oh, something has to be up with that, or something is wrong with that. And I can and with what's put out about the Masons, a person can understand that based on the information that's put out here. A person can understand that response.
Of course, I can.
What struck me as odd, what struck me as odd, and what I had questioned to was, Chief Elder, is this okay if I could tell this story?
Go ahead. But as you can hear the interruption in the background, someone's also trying to get in. But I know you're trying to get an understanding, so go ahead.
The last event that you just did a phenomenal event in Milwaukee, and it was hot. It was blazing. And after that event, we had an incident during that event where something happened, and some police officers had to show up. Well, after that event, after that little incident, we were speaking of that incident to you, and you actually you made a comment, Brother Ray, that just kind of concerned me, and it probably deserves an answer. Is you were like, well,
if it concerns you, brother, it does deserve an answer, and it would have solved that whole incident. Now, I don't ask that to suggest anything. It just felt to me like it deserved an answer. Okay.
Because it was kind of confusing, just that situation itself.
Okay. What was the comment that I made?
Say it again. I'm sorry.
What was the comment that I made that deserves an answer to?
That you would have been able to show them an ID, and they would actually take whatever you showed them into consideration. Like, well, let's leave them alone. Like,
yes.
What? Considering that we know that let's say the white man or the European has no respect for us, none whatsoever, and we're dealing with what this, the amount of respect that they have for us.
Yeah.
And they, with you being able to show them something to show a level of respect that they would respect. Like,
yes.
They will respect whatever you just showed them, that they would take that into consideration and actually leave you alone because of that.
Yes.
Even though we know that they have no respect for us, none whatsoever. What would you be able to present to them where they would be able to say, well, leave this one alone, this one,
Well, actually, in answer to your question, brother, what I was referring to, as Pastor Upchurch knows very, very well, I would have simply came out there and showed them my police ID.
Okay.
I have a gold badge, man. I was the commander of Police Services Division and Police and Chaplains Affairs of North Police Department.
you're Dr. Ray
because
Hagins.
of my affiliation in law enforcement, they would have given me that respect. You follow what I'm saying?
I mean, but you're Dr. Ray Hagins.
And?
They
don't know who that is.
I mean, if
but
it was,
they do recognize
me,
another
without the background, without without what you've amassed amount of celebrity that's kind of different in the conscious community.
Okay,
and
let me
for them
help you
to
understand
honor
how police procedures are. When a police officer gets a radio call, brother, that's what they're responding to. You don't know what they were told. You see what I'm saying? And that's why when Pastor Upchurch and I talked about this matter, I told him to contact the tour commander and file a complaint. Okay? Because that must never happen again. It's not that they don't, and see, let me speak, let me be an advocate for a moment for law enforcement officers, if you don't mind. Most law enforcement officers, man, have no problem with respecting us. Most of them. Most law enforcement officers, man, are just there to do a job. They want to do a job and they want to go home at the end of the day to their families like everybody else does. Okay? But when they're in their radio car and a call comes over that radio, see, you don't know what was said over that radio, man. You follow what I'm saying? So you don't know what was said to them that caused them to have the approach protocol that they took. That's why I said if you had called me, if I had known that, I'd have came out and tried, I would have dealt with that. It doesn't mean that I'm some secret agent or some, it doesn't mean anything like that, man, not at all. It simply means that I would have gotten the same respect that I get anytime I get pulled over by a police officer. I pull out my ID and I get respect.
Let me ask this, brother. Like, let's say, because let's say Dr. Khalid Muhammad. Let's say Dr. Khalid Muhammad ran into that same particular incident.
He would have been handled altogether
some kind of identification based on who Dr. Khalid was. It would have been an immediate difference in response, considering the type of person that Khalid was. It was like an unadulterated realism. The brother was just real, and they wouldn't immediately just because I find it hard. I mean, just me. I don't mean this to be attacking you, brother. I'm not attacking you. This is not an attack. It's just curiosity.
Let me tell you what I should be hearing from you, bro. And can I speak freely to you now?
Yeah, speak free.
Okay. What I should be hearing from you is, we should be thankful to the Creator and the ancestors that we got a brother among us with such credentials. That when we run into a problem, he can be there to squelch it. Instead of, you understand what I'm saying, man?
But
that's what I should be hearing. What I should be hearing is, this brother is respected, even in the law enforcement community. That doesn't mean I'm a sellout, man. It means that I paid my dues, brother.
I'm not calling you a sellout.
I didn't say you did, but what I'm saying, I've answered your question. I don't know what else to say.
Does that because of his credentials and because of his celebrity, he's able to cause civility in certain situations when there could have been an outright riot or an outright attack against the police or any authority. He comes in and he'll sit down amongst them, get arrested, and then go to another place and do the same thing.
You talking about Al Sharpton?
No, he's talking about Al Sharpton.
Yeah, that's what I said. He's talking about Al Sharpton?
Yeah, he kind of does, like, because of his position and because of he's one of their tools that they use as a quote unquote religious leader, and he will come and sit amongst people that are actually trying to stand up and make a voice for themselves. I believe I've seen one incident where they were sitting on a highway, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
and
that happened
here
in St. Louis.
Came in and sat
but what does that got to do with me?
Him. They arrested him, took him off, and then the whole incident didn't have no impact because all they did was just arrest the brother, take him off to another place, and you say do it all over again.
I agree with you, but I'm trying to figure how are you connecting me? How you putting me in that same category though?
Because he had that type of he was able to, the credentials that he's able to present. He has that type of authority. He has that type of room to manipulate because I'm not saying that you're part of it. I'm just saying that's kind of odd. That was just kind of odd, and just to say that just to say that you can show them a badge. You're a strong part of the conscious community. Like, you're telling a lot of truth. And
so are you saying brother, that the conscious community has to be anti-police?
Hold on, brother. Hold on, brother. Go ahead.
I'm a little confused. Are you saying that we and the conscious community cannot have a good relationship with the government?
I thought it was. I thought it was. We oppose whatever the enemy supports and supports whatever the enemy supposes. I thought it was about revolution.
No, brother. No. Let me help you. Let me help you. Okay. The African village does not see the police department as an enemy. Let me make that clear right now. The African village does not see anything in government as an enemy. I mean, we don't operate like that, bro. We're not anti-government. We're not an anti-government organization, man.
Well, my next question would be, why not?
Why should we be?
Because we talk about the systems, the systems within the government that are designed to oppress our people, but we're not against it. I thought is the white man?
No, brother, no. See, listen to what I'm saying. See, this conversation is being listened to right now by the NSA, FBI, everybody else. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay, say it again. I don't think he heard you.
I said this conversation is being listened to right now by the FBI, the NSA, government agencies. Do you understand what I'm saying? Is he still there?
I hear you, brother.
Okay. The last thing we need, brother, okay, is for the powers that be to think that the African village is an anti-government organization. I ain't trying to be anti-government, man. I'm trying to heal people spiritually, brother. That's my focus. I'm trying to teach our people how to empower themselves through the knowledge of the law. I ain't trying to fight the government, man. You can't fight the government. The government has not done anything to me as a person.
Is in dealing with Ma'at, and with dealing with truth, justice, balance, divine reciprocity in others, and balance. Not only should we be fighting for a spiritual change, should we be fighting for a physical change?
That is the first step is spiritual empowerment, and then the next step is intellectual empowerment. You see, in other words, if you really want to fight the system, okay, then prepare yourself to fight the system. Understand the system. Understand how it works. We cannot, brother. We cannot, man. This, and bear with me for a moment, brother. But this one conversation right here, right now, is enough, and that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. This one conversation right here, right now, is enough for the counterintelligence division of the FBI and the CIA, all right, to start giving us hell for something we didn't even do. We haven't done one thing, brother. Not one thing that's illegal. We don't stockpile weapons. Okay, we're not having meetings to overthrow the government. That's not what the African village is about, brother. We ain't got nothing. That is not what we're about.
I understand, brother. I understand. Thank you for your answer, brother. I appreciate it.
Okay, man.
Well, all right. We seem to have another caller.
It's really important that we understand that, man. See, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
It's really important we understand that. See, a lot of so-called black organizations, okay. That's one of the reasons, man, why people when people come into the African village, they need to understand what we're about, man. They really need to understand what we're about. We're not trying to overthrow the government. We're trying to teach our people how to empower themselves. No, brother. Yeah. I'm working too hard to build this thing as a place of healing, to have that connotation even enters anybody's mind, brother.
And I think some can't see the strategy behind what you're saying. I think, I remember seeing...
Well, my question is, do they really want to see the strategy? Because to me, it's very simple.
Oh, well, good question. Good question. Well, we have another caller on the air. What is your name and where you're calling from, brother?
My name is Zulu. I'm calling from Petersburg, Virginia.
All right. Nice to have you with us, brother. Ma'at Hotep.
Did he say Brother Zulu?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, Brother Zulu, how you doing, man?
How you doing? I actually got the name Zulu. I did a bid like maybe 10 years ago when I had that dress and everything in the nose, and the CEO said when I came to process it, the CEO was like Shaka Zulu, and for some reason I gravitated to that. I liked it. So
I can grab that, brother.
On it and find out who the Zulu Nation was. It was like, yeah. So anyway, well, what I called to say is I just want to thank this brother Ray Hagins, man. Whoa! I came across you 3 days ago on the internet, on YouTube, because, for some reason, like, grew up in the church the whole nine, fell in love with the Jesus story maybe about at 27, and I'm a radio personality out here in Virginia, by the way. But,
right on, man.
I fell in love with the Bible and just the whole searching for God thing, but one thing I think I did something wrong. I won't say I did something wrong. When the Bible said pray for wisdom, I kept praying for wisdom. And sometimes you get what you ask for. And, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you get that wisdom. So I started getting this wisdom, and I was doing the church thing hard. I mean, 3-4 nights a week. And if you don't know the Bible, you can't question authority. Or should we say church authority? So it was times I would be sitting in church, and the pastor would read the scripture, and I'd be saying to myself, well, it don't mean that.
Yeah.
They would take it out of context and make it appease the crowd, or make it go to where they wanted it to go. And I was just sitting like, hold up, man, that don't mean that. So I didn't want to go back to that. Another thing, I didn't like all the singing, because I'm a brother. Y'all not going to sing me to death. You know what I mean? I need to eat something. You know what I mean? I didn't come in for, Lord, let's be on high and all that. I'm telling you, it got to the point that I wouldn't go to church till about 12:15, when they was getting right into the sermon. But like I said, I came across this, but I started the last 5 years, I started thinking I was crazy, because for some reason, something just wasn't right. You understand what I'm saying? I was like, hold up. I kept saying, how the white man going to give us something that's going to help us? But then I was thinking, okay, you're blaspheming. You're going to hell. Because, you know what I'm saying? As you were saying in some of your videos, when you in your little circle of thought, as you put it, my circle of thought hadn't expanded. You know what I'm saying?
That's right, bro.
I just want to thank you because, man, I think you have resurrected something in me, man. You made me feel like I got a purpose right now.
All praise be to God.
To where I'm not crazy because I knew something was wrong.
I hear you.
Yeah.
And then you broke it down with fact. It wasn't like he was preaching at you. Because one thing I always say, even as a radio person, I always say, don't talk after people, talk to the people. So it was like you was talking to them. I felt like I was in the crowd and I'm watching a little screen on YouTube. But you was teaching me at the same time. You know what I mean? And being that I am in the entertainment industry, I don't believe nothing that comes out of anybody's mouth if I can't research it.
That's right, brother.
That's what it should be.
Contract, I will pull up the dictionary and the heartbeat, and I don't got a degree in just deodorant. I just got good old common sense. And common sense say that I know good entertainers and I know good speakers because I'm one. I seen all the shows. I can smell BS 35 miles away. I just want to thank y'all brothers, man, for that out there, man, for real. You just don't know what y'all doing. I mean, I feel like crying on this phone right now.
Well, thank you, brother.
I got through. And ready for this? I didn't even hear y'all radio broadcast. I just got an email on my BlackBerry saying, listen tonight. I was like, I got to call and let these brothers know they on point.
Oh, brother, thank you, brother.
Y'all on point, man. I love y'all, man. Woo!
Well, thank you, brother. Thank you for that, brother.
Oh, God bless y'all, man. Keep doing what you're doing. And is there any way I can get a mailing list? Because we don't got nothing. I'm in Colonial, Virginia. I knew something was wrong with Petersburg, and you hit it on one of your videos. You said something about Virginia, and I was like, I know it.
Yeah.
I know it. I know it. Is there any way I could get any address or anything for y'all so I can get on the mailing list, the internet list, whatever it is? I need a direct pipeline to y'all, whatever, because I need the wisdom, man. And I know I got to take it slow. I don't want to regurgitate.
I hear the brother's
information coming in.
Yeah, well, man, there's Pastor Upchurch. You're on his program tonight. And so he can give you his contact information. You can always email me at liberationradio@aol.com.
AOL.com?
LiberationRadio@AOL.com.
Yo, man. Again, man, thank y'all, brothers. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing, man.
All
I
right.
appreciate it so much, man. I'm just telling you, I just don't understand. I really, really thought I was on my way to hell because I didn't even want to pick up my Bible the last 5 years. And I know more Bible than a preacher.
Wow.
I hate you, brother.
Well, thank you, brother. We got other calls, brother, but thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Stay
peace.
strong, Zulu.
No.
Yeah, all right, all right. Ooh, that's an excited brother there. We've got
Yeah,
another.
man.
Yeah, we got another call, man. The calls keep coming.
Well, hey, go with them, brother. I'm listening to your show. You do what you want.
Ma'at Hotep, can you give us your name and let us know where you're calling from?
Yes, I'm Sister Lee. I'm calling from North Carolina.
How are you, sister?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
Oh, hey, we're doing Blacktastic. Glad to have you with us tonight.
It's great to be here.
Well, what's your question or comment, sister?
Well, I've been listening to Dr. Hagins for the last couple of weeks, and his platform and sermons, if we want to title them as sermons, are excellent. But then tonight, when I heard that he is in the Masons, it just made my spirit feel like it was falling. Because
I can understand that. Why did
to
you
me,
feel
the
that way,
Masons were the ones that actually built up this country and helped to build the foundation of the one world order. And I cannot, for the life of me, I can't understand how you could be conscious on one side, but yet with them on the other side. I mean, yes, you can be conscious and know. I grew up in private schools all along, and I knew something was wrong there, too. And once I hear the truth about Christianity and how it was said to us and how it helped to change us, I never really accepted that. I was put in those schools because my parents put me in the schools.
Okay.
Or in the school system. But to make a conscious choice to join a club or an organization or a brotherhood, whatever you want to call it, you can sugarcoat it or call it whatever you will. It is almost as if it's like a double-minded person. You're either for one thing or against one thing. You can't be both because they oppose each other.
Really?
And I guess that would be the question. Okay, sister, let me ask this.
Can she hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, let me ask you a question now. And I want to word this carefully, okay?
Yes.
All right. Do you understand that Masonry did not build this country?
I understand that.
Just no. See, what you said is
or the Masons,
the people who are doing it are
Masons. You asked me a question, and I'm going to explain what I understand it to be.
Okay, now we're talking. Thank you. Okay. Because see, what I wanted to say to you was this, sister. Okay, and I tried to say this at the beginning when I was describing a thing.
I'm sorry?
Just because people who do bad things are Masons.
No, I heard that. I heard that. That's not
okay.
the point
Well,
that I'm trying to make.
That's how you're judging the Masonic order.
No, it's not even that. I'm much closer to it than that.
Okay.
Without getting into too much detail?
I want to know. Go ahead.
Well, I don't really feel that I need to say everything, but what I understand it to be is that they, the Masons, helped to set up this country. Ben Franklin was a Mason.
You mean the writers of the Constitution and all that were Masons?
Ben Franklin was a Mason?
Yes. Okay.
And yes, the writers of the Constitution, the ones that built up Washington D.C., the ones that built Philadelphia.
Okay. And what's bad about that?
So I'm not saying it's bad, but if they were the ones that were sent over here, or from England to find and conquer this new land, if Masonry was all good in the beginning and was for everybody, they would not have let them get such a strong foothold in this country. There,
Okay.
and
What I have to do with this, the only thing I can do, sister, is understand that that's your paradigm of thought. Evidently, it's not my paradigm of thought, or I wouldn't be a Mason. That's your paradigm of thought, and I have to respect that.
yeah.
Evidently, you don't know what I know. If you knew what I knew, then you'd understand why I do what I do.
Well, you don't know what I know either.
But I know
what
you're not a
I'm saying
Mason.
to you is, and I can understand how others feel.
But I know you're not a Mason.
No, I'm not a Mason. I
I
would
know.
not be a Mason.
I'm trying to tell you.
I wouldn't be a Mason. I wouldn't have anybody in my family to even go for that.
Okay,
and yeah,
but
they say
again,
that
you're only
they help
speaking
and they
from
do
what
this
you know,
and
sister.
that.
That's all you can do. And I mean, I respect that. That's all I can do. You're only speaking from your paradigm of awareness.
The question to
we
you
have no
is,
choice
if
but to
they
speak
were
from our paradigm of
set up
awareness.
this country to make it for everybody, why is it in the situation it's in? See what I'm saying? You would think 300 years later, 340 years later.
But that has nothing to do with masonry, sister.
It has everything to do with
No,
masonry.
no, it doesn't.
Then
No,
what
it doesn't.
is the purpose? If they've been here for that many years and they still have not furthered the cause to help us, then it's
That's
not
not-
a good thing to be in. That's all I have to say.
Okay, all right.
All right.
I respect that.
All right.
It seems as if the perception is so much different than the reality,
Exactly.
and people have.
And again, I understand the sister's paradigm of thought. I mean, the mind can't teach what it does not know. You heard me say that 1,000 times. The mind
Yeah.
cannot even respond to what it does not know.
And it's as if I could hear what she's saying, and it's as if she's not hearing what you're saying. It's as if she has a paradigm that all Masons are evil and against
Exactly,
black
right.
people, and so how could you be a Mason?
Which means that she thinks I'm evil.
True.
You see
Well,
what I'm saying?
we have another caller on the line. Caller, can you give us your name and let us know where you're calling from?
Good evening. My name is Harlan. I'm also in North Carolina. How's everybody doing?
Hey, man, how you doing?
Doing good. Doing good. I was calling, in response to, the negative things being said. And, I didn't realize, and even like the brother who called before I did, who didn't understand, what your credentials are and what they mean. People have to realize one thing, that, even though we have a point of view, we don't live in a vacuum.
Yes.
And it's important that you do have to maintain ties to things. And like you said, not all police departments are bad, and not all individuals within a police department are bad, even though some are.
Right, exactly.
And,
Well said.
regarding what's being said about who and who's pimping the truth and this, that, and the other thing, people have to realize one thing. We as black people, we fight on different fronts every day.
Yes.
And just like you have to be a father, you have to be a breadwinner, you're a spiritual and enlightened person, you have to fulfill those roles. And we can't get lost in any one role or we fail at all things.
That's true, brother. Well said.
And ultimately, nothing is served by cutting people down, because ultimately we're not going to all agree on the exact same thing the exact same time. No two people on earth ever do.
Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing to be served by airing out dirty laundry. The question is, when you look at a person, where is he trying to go with this?
Right. Yeah. Well, I agree with
Okay,
that.
like what you were talking about with the videotapes. Okay, he obviously you hurt his bread and butter and all this, but like you said, is he in it to inform people or in it to make money? And that's the big difference. Ultimately, more is harmed by his attacks on you or anybody else's attacks than could be saved by the money he could have made.
Exactly, brother. Yeah.
Because if we're gonna get on these talk shows and and disagree in this, okay, like you said, not only is the federal government listening, but right now chances are there's somebody listening who's never listened before.
Exactly.
And we only get one chance to make a first impression.
Exactly.
Yeah, well
Exactly.
said.
And with all this infighting going on, we know what that impression is going to be.
Yes.
And brother, thank you very much for your comment. And we've got calls backed up, brother. But thank you very much for calling in. Thank you for listening to WBLR and WKHR. And you bring up valid points, brother.
Very
You all
valid
have a good
point,
night.
man.
All right, Motto Tep, brother. All right. We apparently are just, man, the calls are literally flowing in. I can't
think
stop
it was going to be any other way, man.
Yeah, I know. Ma'at Hotep,
Oh,
you're
God.
on the air with Dr. Ray Hagins and myself, Pastor Upchurch. Who might you be and where are you calling from?
My name is Fran Golston, and I'm calling from Trinity, Alabama.
Okay, well, all right.
Trinity, Alabama. Never heard of that one before.
Oh, yes. I've been out here lost and unconscious for years. I got out of the church like a year ago. I woke up like 2 months ago and came across Pastor Hagin on YouTube, and I'm like the guy that called a few minutes ago. I have been just blown away and excited.
Good.
Yes. No disrespect to you, Pastor Upchurch, but I got an email today, so I just checked my email, and I'm late getting on about the subject and stuff, but that's what I've been talking about with Mason and Eastern Stars, because I've been thinking about joining Eastern Stars, but I really don't know much about it. I'm like the lady that called earlier. I heard kind of like bad, negative things about it, but I shouldn't say bad, negative things about it, because I really don't know about it except what I've studied on the internet and books and stuff. So my question is it not bad to join Eastern Stars or become a member of Eastern Star?
Well, sister, what I think, let me do this. Let me do this. Not only to you, but to everyone listening. Okay? It would not be fair for me to say to you, sister, come on and join here. I think you should join. What I'm going to say to you is this. We need conscious people in the order.
I am
See what I'm
conscious.
saying? We need conscious people. So only what I suggest is go ahead and join. And if you see something in there that's evil, or that's like everybody been saying, the negative things you hear, then get out of it. You're welcome to leave at any time.
Okay, and I have one more question that
No,
doesn't have
I mean
anything.
that was my attitude when I joined, because I had heard so many negative things about I used to preach against the Masonic order. Just like I preached about Jesus Christ.
Wow.
You see? And again, you find out that what you heard ain't true. And so when I got in it, I didn't see, none of this is true. I mean, it is true that the people who founded this nation, and a lot of people, presidents and senators, are all judges, cops, all of them are Masons. Okay, yeah, but that's the fraternity. That doesn't mean that they are the ones who did everything. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense or not. So come on in, and if you don't like it, you can always leave.
One more question.
Yes.
Since I've become conscious, I've told a few friends that I've talked to and that hasn't ran.
I can't hardly hear her.
I said the few friends that I have, I've asked them now that I've become conscious. I don't have a God to pray to. Who do I pray to now?
Oh, God, you pray to God. You pray to the Almighty. You see, that's the misnomer of being conscious. When we talk about African consciousness, we must understand that it was our African ancestors that gave God consciousness to the world in the first place. But see, what happens is, in Christianity, you have what's called a prayer formula. And that is that you must pray in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Or you must pray in Jesus' name.
Right.
That's called a prayer formula. You see? And honestly speaking, when I became conscious, I didn't, and then when I stopped using the prayer formula, I didn't know how to end my prayers. I didn't know how to begin my prayers, because I used to always start praying, Father God, in the name of Jesus, we come before you, that kind of thing, Now when I pray, I say, to the one true and living God, who is the creator and sustainer of all life, of all the worlds. We give you praise, we give you glory, and to go on with my prayer. And then when I end my prayer, I say, and this I pray, in the name of the one true and living God. Period.
And you ended with what, Ashe?
Ashe, yes. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much.
Sometimes I say amen, for if there's Christians present in the room, because they don't feel the prayer's over till you said amen.
I understand. One more thing, and I'm going to get off because I know other people are trying to call. I live a long way from African Village. I was wondering if you have any plans to start one near Alabama or in Alabama, or do you train pastors or anything like that?
On our website, on the WBLR website, if you click the tab that says the African Village at the top, on the left-hand side, it will say how to start an African village in your area.
Okay.
Okay? Go there and get that information and send us, communicate with me. And who knows, maybe you'll be the one to start a village in that area for us.
Oh, boy. Okay. But I just want to say I love you.
What we do is we send Pastor Upchurch down there to help you get it started.
And I tell everybody now, I got a pastor. He's a long way from me, but I got a pastor.
Thank you, sister.
All right. Well, thank you very much, sister, and appreciate your calling in.
You too, Pastor Upchurch.
All right. Ma'atotep, sister.
All right. Hotep to you, too.
Hotep, sister.
Well, this is a wonderful night that this is an endless night that we're having. Just real quick, I've gotten some emails, and we're of course going to take the next call, but just real quick, I've gotten, and there's other calls lined up, but Brother Carl Prather, who's trying to get into the chat room, I need to tell him, just please, by all means, keep trying. It was down for a minute, but we had to resurrect it. DjehutiRa, brother, don't give up, all right? Don't give up. If you want to contact us, please, in red, okay? I'm looking at the chat room, and to be honest,
it is kind of difficult to try to read all the posts, man.
Oh, man, it really is.
A lot of people think that their post is the only post that's coming through.
Yeah, exactly.
But sometimes, man, 20 or 30 posts come through at one time.
Exactly.
And it's kind of hard to keep up where this place you were reading at,
True. And I want to say to DjehutiRa, who's writing in red, he says that they have scared us with the Masonic Order, that there's a lot of disinformation out there. He's sharing that they only go up to 33 1/3 degree, and he says that in Kemet we had 360 degrees of knowledge, and he says, imagine that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And see, that's the other thing, man. We must understand that there was a black Mason, okay, and of course the black Masons pretty much have become named after him, and I can't think of Prince Hall.
Yes.
And Prince Hall founded the African Lodge. You see, and the reason why Prince Hall founded the African Lodge is because that was his way of saying that Masonry came from Africa in the first place.
Excellent. Good point.
You see, so when we say we're Prince Hall Masons, we're not talking about 1717 Masonry.
I grew up in the church, and I was told all the evil and satanic things that that went on, and I believed it. But as I have become conscious, I really understand now that I don't have the authority to speak on something that I don't know about. Through Asher Kwesi, you were talking about Asher Kwesi earlier, through one of his videos that I've watched about the foundations of the formation of Masonry, where it comes, he tells a story about, the formation of Masonry in Kemet, in the Nile Valley.
That's
it
right.
gave me a greater understanding of what the order is all about.
Yes.
And so even though that I'm not a Mason, I don't know anyone who's a Mason per se, but I am conscious enough and aware enough to know that we have to get away from and regurgitate all this madness that we've been taught all of our lives. And we have to go and do the research and go back from the beginning. You can't go back 100 years, 200 years, and 300 years. You got to go all the way back.
That's right, brother.
And that is the only way that you really are going to get some even semblance of what truth is. And so I just admonish everybody that's listening. We're making comments about in the Masonic order or the Shriners or things like that, go all the way back to the beginning. And then once you go all the way back to the beginning, you really understand the formations of the order, and you find something, that's negative, then you're in a position to speak on it. But until then, if you haven't experienced it, you haven't researched it from the beginning. I mean, no one is in a position to question anything.
True, brother. True, brother. Thank you very much for your comment. And hey, we're going to go ahead and get some more of these calls.
All right, thanks a lot.
Be blessed, brother. All right, caller, you are lucky number 1,000. It feels like it. Caller, give us your name and tell us where you're calling from. Okay, I guess.
I didn't hear anything. Did they say something?
Yeah, I guess the caller isn't there.
Peace.
All right. Caller, what's your name and let us know where you're calling from, please?
Peace. My name is Divine Allah. I'm in Gibsonville, North Carolina.
All right. Well, hotep to you, brother. Peace.
Hotep.
What question or comment do you have for Dr. Ray tonight?
Well, first, I want to say peace to Dr. Hagins for providing an outlet for so-called reformed religious people to discover part of their original heritage in terms of who they are in their origin in this world. And I also want to add on in terms of today's date, which is the 8th, which in our nation, the nation of God and earth, that represents build and destroy. And so the topic of the day says masonry, and in reality, what's practiced is Freemasonry, which is a speculative measure of a man's worth and how he can build and add on, not necessarily in stone, but in morals and ethics. And so I want to congratulate the Ma'at African Village for showing that example in terms of how original people can interface with the sciences of the original man in the past.
Right on, brother.
My main question is, when did Dr. Hagins switch over from the Christian paradigm to the Ma'at African Village paradigm? What year?
Oh, man. Actually, my transition, it would be hard to say what year. I would have to say it began, my transition actually began, brother, 1987.
Okay.
Okay, I would actually, in 87 is when how can I say it? When somebody stuck a key in the lock in 1987 and unlocked a whole new world to me. So between the years of 1987 and 1993, those were the years of my transitioning. Dr. Ben, I met Dr. Ben in 1989, and for about a good year and a half, I was sitting with Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark, attending lectures at the Slave Theater in Brooklyn, New York, fellowshipping with a group called African Echoes in East Orange, New Jersey. So listening to all the conscious information coming out, man. And in 1993 is when I actually resigned from being a Christian minister.
Okay.
I mean, in 1993 was when I actually made the determination I'm not a Christian anymore.
Wow. Okay, brother?
No.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, and I say peace.
All right, peace, brother.
Thank you, brother.
All right. Well, we're going to go just a little bit more, Doc. We know you've had a busy day. And we're going to go.
Oh, man, but what we're doing right now, hey, this is life for me, man. I wish it was, the only thing is I wish it was 10 of me.
You wish, 10 of you.
Because there's other things that I need to be doing, but,
yeah.
Hey, and all of them are important, man, and this is very important to me, man.
Well, let's take the next caller.
Oh.
Caller, can you give us your name and let us know where you're calling from, please?
Greetings. This is Ken and PG.
Hey, how you doing, brother?
Hey, Doc.
Hey, man, who's this again?
This Ken J, Doc.
Muskegon?
This Ken J.
Ken J.
Huh?
This is Ken J and PG, Doc.
KJ. Hey, man. What's going on? Okay. How you doing, brother?
Hey, man, I just wanted to share my story real quick. Maybe the audience will kind of understand this.
Okay, go ahead, man. Well, listen to me. I'm talking like it's my show.
I just wanted to just say this, man, and this is kind of deep, and this has been bothering me for a little bit. My grandfather was a Mason, and he was a worship master and a shriner.
Okay.
But my grandfather sat me down a long time ago, and he explained, because I had all kind of questions about the hats and the aprons. Oh, my gosh, I had questions galore. And my grandfather just kept on, and every question I had, he just kept on putting the African history book in my hand, man. He just kept on putting it in my hand. Just kept on putting it in my hand. I said, no, I want to learn what you want to know. He just kept on putting it in my hand. Man, just make a long story short, I never figured it out until I became conscious.
All right, brother.
My grandfather was a conscious Mason, man, and I'm telling you, and he was a part of the brothers in Baltimore that worked at Bethlehem Steel. That was kind of like the upper class blacks back in the day. He came through that, and a lot of them became Masons. He told me the story, man, and I give the shout out to a lot of Masons in Baltimore because that's where I'm originally from, and all I seen was Mason brothers around me throughout my life, and my uncles and my cousins and all, and we seen the inner workings, man, but I never knew how deep it was until my grandfather passed. And me being
did they give him a funeral or what, brother?
Huh?
Did they give him a funeral or what?
Yeah, I was about to go. Man.
I'm telling you, man.
They didn't let me stay the whole time, man, but I didn't know that they stayed with I didn't know that they did certain things, and my grandfather had left a letter for me, and I kept it to this day, man, and he always told me, and basically, bottom line of the letter was, you always ask for the truth when you always had it in your skin, son. And it's real shaky when he did that, because everybody never figured it out. But as I got older and I went to college and I got degrees and I came a kind of a scholar, and then all of a sudden it hit me. I became seriously conscious. It flew like a wave through my family. And then my uncle called me one time and he said, you know what, before your grandfather passed, he told me that you was going to be the one of the family to keep it going. That is being a Mason, but to just let the family know what they need to look at and how they need to keep it. And I have become that person. I just wanted to let the people know I grew up with a grandfather and uncles and neighbors that were Masons, and maybe they did that thing what they did, but the example as black men that they showed me was more powerful than the Masons could ever.
I know what you mean. Believe me,
I knew the people that actually were around and who were scholarly men who went to church periodically, but men who always was studying on the porch. Oh my goodness, books out constantly, sitting on the porch, just doing them. I remember Sundays just sitting up under them with books, and oh my goodness, books were all over the place. So I just wanted to let people know, I know how people can be seriously scared of that, but just somebody who grew up in it, and then I came to understand everything myself. It wasn't nothing that I thought it was. It was everything that I knew it would be. But I never became a Mason because something that my grandfather always told me, and another thing that he always said, he was like, just if you have the truth, he always told me it's not about the organization you join, it's how you get there.
That's right, brother.
You kind of understand what I'm saying? And that's deep. And for people who join organizations, you don't let the organization succumb you. You use the organization to actually to enhance you. Keep going. You don't become that organization. The organization is the hand. And just like Dr. Hagins, brother, you said, any man's conscience cannot be controlled. If you don't like it, you always can remove yourself physically and mentally.
Right.
Well, brother, we thank you. We just have so many calls on the line.
Go ahead, man. I just wanted to say to you all,
I appreciate that, brother. Thank you for sharing that, man.
All right. Thank you, brother.
Have a good night.
All right, you
and you know what? Another thing too, Upchurch, that I did not say, and that is, I have seen a fraternal brotherhood and sisterhood in the order that I have never seen in the church.
Okay.
You know, for example, like the brother was just saying, man, you know, when his grandfather passed away.
Yeah.
You know, the Masonic order sees to it that the widows are taken care of, brother.
See, that's excellent. That's excellent.
That's right. We don't do that in the church.
Well, let's take this.
Whenever the brothers meet, they always give a widow's report, man.
Wow.
See if this widow needs anything.
That's deep, brother. But yet the Masons get such a bad rap.
Yeah, because that's what people don't know, man. You know.
All right, Madotep, brother. Give us your name and tell us where you're calling from, please.
Madotep, brother. This is J.T. Woods, man, out of Louisville, Kentucky.
Hey, J.T., what's up?
Hey, man. I was at the convocation at both of you brothers, man, and I got the email today, and I'm just tuning in. I'm just enjoying everything, man.
Good.
Hey, I'm like the sisters from Trinity, Alabama, man. When she said she got a pastor now, Pastor Ray, you the pastor down here.
Oh, brother, I'm honored, man.
And on top of that, I want to let you know we do a local radio program, and we play you at least once a week.
Oh, man.
And Upchurch, I got that, the cross prophecy coming. I've ordered it, and so when we get it, we're gonna have that, too.
All right.
It's a beautiful sermon, man.
You don't have that, man? You got to get that.
Huh?
You don't have that?
What, the cross prophecy?
Yeah.
I got it. Well, I don't have it yet.
Okay.
I ordered it.
Man.
So I guess when I get it, then, you know, it's so much to order that we finally trying to get our stock up and everything. And Pastor Ray, I want you to let you know my little grandson here, he's off into the ministry and everything now, and he want me to tell you hello.
Oh, man.
Now he knows
how old is he? How old is he, man?
He's 9.
Put him on, what's his name?
I'm going to put him on right quick, let him tell hello.
Yeah, let me holler at him, man.
All right. Hello.
Hello?
Hey, little man, how you doing?
Good.
You know who this is?
Yes.
Who is it, man? Who is it?
Okay,
who are you talking to?
Oh, he got off the line.
Oh, he got off already?
Yeah.
Okay.
The young man got off and everything, but I'm going to try to get him to the next convocation. I know it might not be in St. Louis this time.
No, it's going to be in Washington, Baltimore area.
We're going to find out and go.
All right.
Our Washington,
Baltimore
study group will be hosting the convocation
keep doing what you're doing, and we're listening down here. Hey, Pastor Hagins, I did send you some of the copies of the radio show. If you ever get time, listen to one and give us a little feedback.
By all means, man. Email me. Is it a webcasting?
No, not yet. Not yet.
How will I get to hear it?
Right. I just sent you some on CD disc.
Oh, okay, man. Okay.
And Sister Stewart might have those because Brother Tilford brought them up here.
Okay, brother.
So anyway.
Oh, I am so sorry. I got.
So I'm gonna let some other callers come in.
All right. Thank you, brother.
Take care, brother.
Bro. All right.
This movement is really spreading out, ain't it, brother?
Yes, it really is, amongst many different ages.
Oh, man.
Well, you know, it looks like the calls have stopped, and what we're going to do is we're just going to simply, oh, my goodness, looked like when I said, I tell you what, we're going to take this last call, all right?
Now, you should know better than that, man.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take this last call, everybody.
Yeah, right.
Ma'adhotep, this is Pastor Upchurch, and you're on the line with Dr. Ray Hagins.
Hello, Pastor Upchurch. This is Arthur from Connecticut. How are you?
Brother Arthur, how you doing?
Hey, Brother Arthur, how you doing, man?
I got through.
Yeah, you got to be persistent tonight.
Yes, I understand. Well, it's a very interesting topic. You might have to do part 3.
Uh-oh.
I had just a real quick question because I know the phone's still ringing there, but I understood the sister's thoughts or feelings when she called it earlier in terms of who built this country and I guess what she would perceive as some negative parts of it and how Black Masons fit into it and possibly their responsibility or them being part of it and not being a part of it, that type of thing. I want to ask one of the questions. The first question was Pastor Hagins. Apparently, he joined Masons when, before he became African centered. If he knew,
no, actually, it was after.
It was after.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I really apologize for the assumption because I
in fact, I didn't join the Masonic Order until 1998.
Oh, okay. And so, okay, well, I guess I have to take that question back. But also, I was reading an article not too long ago where apparently there's just been some men that have been, some wounds that have been healed recently, whereas some Masons, I guess, I don't know if it's Christian Masons or whatever, have just finally recognized black Masons in some areas.
Well, actually, with that stems from the Grand Lodge of England.
Okay.
Has finally accepted Prince Hall Masons, and the reason for that is because, and again, the reason why Prince Hall started the African Lodge was to be a message to all Masons that Masonry came from Africa, not from Europe.
Okay.
See, and that's why it was actually called African Lodge 459.
Okay.
At first. And then what happened is, because he was in the military, and it was a military lodge, when the lodge was moved out of the, it left the brothers there without a place of fellowship. So then he changed it, but they did give them the permission to actually form, to meet as Masons.
Okay.
So that's when he changed the name and called it African Lodge Number 1. Okay? And again, the whole purpose of Prince Hall doing that was to be a statement to the entire world of Masonry that Masonry came from Africa, not from Europe.
Okay. Now,
see?
And
hence, that's why most black Masons are called Prince Hall Masons.
Okay. And it leads me to another short question, and this is where I think there's some confusion for us that are not Masons, or I speak for myself, because I'm sure I'm Brother Coakley.
Yes,
Brother
Steve,
Steve,
yeah.
And of course he has, over the years, had some critiques, I'll say, about some of the Masons or some groups that are, I guess, Masons. And I guess it's hard for us to see who are on the outside what is being done, in terms of our movement. And there's so many, and if Prince Hall made the statement back when he did, then why are so many brothers that are, I don't know, whether low level or brothers that we know are in the Masons, why do they either don't come out and talk about African consciousness, or what I've seen is just the opposite, talk against it, actually?
Exactly. And, well, again, as you've heard me say, Brother Arthur, the mind can't teach what it does not know.
But how could they become members?
Prince Hall.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead, Pastor Ray.
Huh?
I'm sorry, go ahead, Pastor Ray.
I said the mind can't teach what it does not know. Prince Hall was conscious. Okay? You got to understand that most of the brothers, most Prince Hall Masons are deacons and preachers in their churches. Most of them are Christians. But then again, we're talking about the program of Christianity as most black folk are influenced by.
Okay.
The one of the great lights of Masonry is the Bible, and then on top of it is the King James Version of the Bible.
Okay.
You follow what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
But then again, the reason for that, man, is because when brothers joined the Masonic Order, the ritual that they learn, the orientation that they go through, was all written by the Grand Lodge of England.
Okay.
So what it takes is, it takes brothers such as myself, brothers who have come to the knowledge of the African origins of Masonry, who are Masons, to change it from the inside out. You'll never change it from outside. You gotta be in it. You ever heard this phrase? You gotta be in it to win it.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's really what we're dealing with here. And as a result of the work that we are doing, man, you'd be surprised how many brothers, how many lodges now, have changed their name, man, to like the Imhotep Lodge.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
See what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying.
There's another, I think it's somewhere in oh God, I can't what state it is in. I don't know if it's in California somewhere, but there's another group of brothers out there who have changed their name from the lodge that they had. They've changed their name to the Zozier Lodge. You see, because they're finding out the African origins of it now.
Okay.
So again, and what the sister said earlier is very valid, man. What she said is that the people who founded this country were Masons. That's true. The people who founded this country were Masons. But that doesn't mean that Masonry is bad.
Okay.
Like I said, man, a lot of people have done some bad things who happen to be Masons, but that has nothing to do with Masonry. They just belong to an organization that's a fraternal organization. That's all. And like I said, man, hey, we for example, we got brothers in our lodge right now, man. They throw parties that I don't participate in because I don't drink. You see what I'm saying? I mean, but I'm not going to say that they're bad because they drink and get drunk and all that kind of stuff, man. It's a personal thing, man. What can I say?
Well, like I said, I really appreciate you clearing some things up. I think there just needs to be a little bit more dialogue and understanding, teaching in terms of those that are inside and those that are outside, because those that are outside, we see a lot of pain and hurt. We don't see a lot of people coming to our rescue. And if we're talking about groups of people who claim to have certain knowledge and information, and we don't see them come to our rescue, it's
give me an example of what you mean when you say not coming to our rescue.
Well, as far as we can see.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I said as far as we can see.
But give me an example of what you mean.
Well, I mean, oh boy.
Because the reason why I say that is because all I see in the Masonic order is coming to our rescue. You see what I'm saying? Because the Masonic order is a benevolent organization. I mean, the Masonic order feeds the hungry. At least our lodges here in St. Louis does. The Masonic order here buys vans to transport disadvantaged children to different locations. And, I've seen the lodges, man, give clothes to people who are without. I don't know. So when we say not coming to our rescue, I don't understand what you mean.
Okay, well, maybe at a different time, at a different place, we can
go. Yeah, no, I really would like to know.
I don't know. I guess I don't know how to further to articulate that.
Okay.
Yeah, at this particular moment. But I really appreciate your
But email me that, man, because I'd like to address that. Because I don't know of a more benevolent organization than the Masonic Order.
Okay. All right.
Really, I mean, at least in the black community, anyway.
Thank you so much.
Okay, brother.
All right. Thank you, brother. There's a particular brother that's been trying to get through to us, DjehutiRa, and
can't get through, man.
Oh man, he can't get he can't get through. Let me just see here. Is this hello? Who's on the air?
This is DjehutiRa.
Ah, man. This is funny, brother.
You just said he couldn't get through. It is, man.
And you want to know the trippy part about it? I was just getting ready to hang up so that he could get through.
Oh, my God, man.
But how you doing, brother?
Oh, Hotep brothers.
Hotep DjehutiRa.
Hotep.
Hotep, brother.
Yeah, it is a lot of people using their own paradigm, which is basically just ignorance, by not knowing what sons of Ma'at is. Mason. Sons of Ma. The Masons understand where the builder came from. It comes from the woman. She's the foundation. That's the reason why they wear the apron and the fez. Because the fez is nothing but a umbilical cord. hit to the black folks. You got to get up in there and start reading, stop being ignorant, and stop believing what people tell you.
That's right, brother.
And we went on the African Village here in D.C. Went to the Tony Browder Egypt on the Potomac tour.
Okay.
And 16th Street in Washington D.C.
Yes.
George Washington said that would be the center, which is the meridian.
It's the meridian,
and that's
brother.
where the sun hits.
Prime meridian.
That's right, the meridian, the PM, the prime meridian. That's where the sun hits D.C. at its highest point. And that whole 16th Street corridor had the three masonries in the world: the Scottish Rite, which is the British one, and the one that was in, I can't remember the other two names, but I know it's the top.
York Rite.
And that whole strip has nothing but churches on it. So what does that tell you?
Wow.
That's where the enlightenment is coming from. The whole Masonic order is all about enlightenment. And the white Masons, their whole trip is to become black. But you cannot become black unless you come out of a black womb.
Teach, brother.
That's the reason why they wear the apron, people. That's the reason why the order is called the Sons of Ma'at.
That's right, brother.
Of Ma.
And that's it. And in fact, that's what Mason means. It means a son of light, brother.
That's the whole secret. That's the only reason why I wanted to call it. That's one that
I got you. But again, like I said, the mind can't teach what it don't know. DjehutiRa.
You're exactly
right,
brother.
Thank you for that, brother.
You said that exactly the same thing you say all the time. The mind cannot teach what it does not know.
That's right.
Everybody's just going off scare tactics and ignorance.
Brother, you don't know how valuable your call is.
Yes, indeed.
All right, brother. Well,
Hotep.
Hotep to you, brother.
All right, brother.
Peace. All right, we're going to let that be our last call for tonight. We know that some of you yet want to get in and yet want to holler at us on the air. But you know what? Hey, this has been an absolutely wonderful show. We've had a landslide here, just a flood of calls, and we've had so many that have made some very, very valid points.
Yes.
And, you know, Doctor, hey, I really appreciate your being with us on tonight.
Well, brother, you know, it's a time for healing, Upchurch.
Yes.
You know, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'm more concerned with the body, the family, the people.
Yes.
Being healed. You know, there's an old African proverb, brother, that says, when elephants fight, it is the grass that suffers.
Wow.
You know, and I'm interested in the grass.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about another elephant or somebody who thinks they're an elephant. I'm not concerned with that because, you know, they'll have to deal with the creator's force of the universe for themselves, man. You know, I'm busy trying to do what I got to do to heal our people, and I want to see to it that our people are protected and not hurt.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? By egotistical presentations of others, man. You know, we don't have time to be, you know, tearing each other down, man. We just don't have time for that.
And true, we don't. And you know? One thing that I said on the end of Consciousness Pimps #1 was that, you know, we gave Phil Valentine credit for saying that he would recant and that he would, you know, endeavor to undo what he did. And looking at that as hopefully as...
I appreciate that.
Yeah, exactly.
And I respect him for that.
Yeah.
You know, I look forward to meeting Phil one day, man. You know, like I said, I don't know him. I've heard of him. But I appreciate his saying that, and he has my respect, man, for that.
Yeah, and so, you know, it is time for healing. It is time for healing one another rather than hurting one another. And I just want to say, you know, even though you have been the accused, I gotta say, you know what? One of the biggest testimonies to your character and also to Masonry as well is how you've stepped up and been willing to forgive and been willing to work out and been willing to give understanding to those that don't have it.
Yeah, I hear you, brother.
And is there anything else that you want to leave us with?
Oh man, what can I say?
I know
keep everybody that's listening. You know, keep us in your prayers. Keep Pastor Upchurch in your prayers. Let's remember, as a people, how the COINTELPRO works. You know,
yes.
What the enemy would do would be to take advantage of seeds of discord, you know, and then use them against us, and then we'll end up blaming each other.
Yes, exactly.
You know, that is what has happened with some of our greatest movements, man. You know, they were infiltrated by CIA or FBI operatives who sowed seeds of discord, mailed letters with forged signatures and all that kind of dumb stuff, and had our own people blaming each other for something that they did not even do. You know, and we cannot allow, the community, we can't allow that to proliferate at all. You know, and all I say is, hey man, you know, may God and the ancestors continue to bless us to resurrect our people, to heal us spiritually, you know, so that we can do what we got to do, man. I do believe that this is our time for resurrection. I really do.
And I believe also that, you know, that while we are doing the best that we can, I know you probably feel like me, that, you know what, we never said that we were experts at liberating our people.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, you know.
No, brother. You know, one of the, you know, I want to, can I sing a song?
Go ahead, man, sing.
I didn't write this. Danny Bell wrote this. You remember this song? Ordinary people.
Oh, yeah.
God uses ordinary people. He uses people just like me and you, who are willing to do as He commands. God uses people who will give Him their all, no matter how small your all might seem to you, because little becomes much when you place it in the Master's hand. So, man, we're not experts. We're just ordinary people, bro.
That's
saying,
it.
God, use me for your service. That's it, man.
Well, Dr. Ray, once again, we thank you, and thank you for that solo selection.
Oh man, come on.
You know what? I got a keyboard right here, man. I should have keyed up the keyboard.
That's okay, man.
I should have followed.
That's what we all got to understand, Upchurch. We're nobody's claiming to be professional at this, man.
Yeah.
We're you know, God wants people who are willing, not people who are excellent.
Yeah.
People who are willing to do their best, man. You know, and that's all. That's all God asks for.
Well, I wish that some of our brothers and sisters here in Milwaukee would understand that, you know, hey, you know, it takes everyone, you know, if you hear something that you don't like, if you hear something that you don't agree with, you know, let's not use that as an excuse to throw the baby out with the bathwater and say, you know what, it's all no good, all right? So, Doctor, we do thank you. We appreciate you.
You're very welcome, man. Did I lose you?
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. So, all right. Well, listen, we thank you very much for being with us.
Anytime, brother.
And
anytime.
Once again, hey, we will be in touch with you very, very soon. We love you. We appreciate you.
Love you too, man. Give my best to your queen, man.
I will do
and
so.
To the African Village family there that we met on Friday night, man.
Yeah.
Y'all got some beautiful people up there, man. You know, I can't think of the brothers' names that were on security for you.
Yeah, Brother Jamal.
But, yeah, man, you know, beautiful brother, man. Beautiful brother. Beautiful brother, man. I really enjoyed talking to those brothers, man.
Well, you know, I tell you, you know, he is a good brother, and, you know, you did let the cat out the bag. Didn't you say yesterday that you'd like to come up here again?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, of course, man, especially now that we know where you are.
Oh, okay.
Next time I'm going to fly, though. Later for that drive, man.
Yeah. We're going to fly you in next time.
Oh, man, it'd be easier for me just driving to Chicago and rent a car.
Yeah.
You know, or just, flying to Chicago and rent a car, you know. But, we want to spend some time up there anyway, man. Like I said, the brothers in Chicago, you know, they're serious about getting this thing going, man, you know, now, and so we got to, you know, stay up in that area a little while to help them get that done, or you stay up in that area to help them get that done. But, man, you know, all you got to do is say, man, listen, come on. Any Friday night, you know, hey, let's just make it happen. That's all, Upchurch.
All right.
That's all, man.
Okay, well, listen, we thank you once again. I know that we've taxed you a lot here. We just held you up for hours, so we're going to let you go. Brother. We appreciate your contribution.
Anything for the movement, man.
Yeah.
Well, love you, man.
Love you, too.
Okay, stay strong, brother.
All right, you too. Ma'ado Tep.
Ma'ado Tep.
Oh, family. I want to say that, you know what? Hey, this has been wonderful. This has been real. And I am, of course, your host, Pastor E.S. Upchurch, also known as Mwalimu Asa DjehutiRa. And we've learned a lot tonight. We've learned that when Prince Hall began Masonry, he did it as a strategic tool to take back that belonged to Africa. And you know what? In reality, what Prince Hall did in forming the Prince Hall Masons, what he did is really what we're trying to do. The African villages stand as a beacon of light and truth amongst the religious community. And we're attempting to, you know, bring those out of Islam, bring those out of Christianity, bring those out of Judaism, and whatever walk of life they may be in, to rejoin them with their African heritage. And so in doing this, hey, it's the same thing all over again. Prince Hall attempted to do the same thing by actually starting a separate order called the African Lodge, number 459. And so, you know, on this note, let's not get it twisted. Let's not get it mixed up. But let's please understand that we have to wade through a lot of disinformation and not be consumed by what others are attempting to show us. But we must, even as we've done with Christianity, even as we've done with the Quran and the Bible, even as we've done with Islam and Judaism, we must do the research and we must study for ourselves. And so I must agree with Annie R. She says that this has been challenging, and it has been. And I want to say, you know, hey, we appreciate each and every one of you that have joined us. We give a shout out to Allah and Patah, to Annie R., to Brenda, to Daotru, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, and to E. Tyler 59, and to Neat Anzinga, and also to Brother DjehutiRa. We thank you. And this podcast, we're going to attempt to get this put up on our website and on iTunes over the next couple of days, so it'll be there for you. Ma'ad Hotep to your family. If you need to, you know you can email us here at WKHR Radio. We appreciate you and we love you. And we thank you. We thank you. One of the last things that I'm going to do is I'm going to read something in my closing remarks. Even though it's not in red, I'm going to read an email that's sent to me by RUReal42. I'm sorry, 428 at AOL.com. And it says, Ma'at Hotep, Pastor Upchurch, and Dr. Hagins. I want to help out with the problem of people not understanding why it is okay for a black man to be a Mason. The people need to first understand that Masonry principles came out of Egypt. Okay, Masonry principles came out of Egypt. Masonry was stolen out of our culture. The movie Rosewood was a perfect example of how we are serious about Masonry, but it has been a tool used by white supremacy or white people to get around the law, that is justice, etc. We do Masonry different, as we do church different than they do. I am a Mason, a Shriner, and the past district lecturer of Pennsylvania. I am proud of being a Mason, but I am equally proud to be a conscious brother. I do wish that Pastor Upchurch, that you and Dr. Hagins can get involved with the Masonic Order and start giving our brothers right knowledge. A lot of them are lost, and I think it will keep the brothers from walking away from it, because they are not being fed right knowledge. And he greets us by saying, peace. Well, we thank you, brother. We thank you for sharing with us. And, you know, no one can tell me how an apple tastes until they've bitten into it. And so, on that note, then, family, from what we've heard from the Masons, we've heard basically that there's a lot of information out there, and that, you know, the real reason why Prince Hall did what he did was strategic. And that being the note, hey, we're going to sign off for tonight. We love you. If you're in Milwaukee, by all means, please visit us at the African Village. There are directions on the website on the right-hand side that ask you if you are in Milwaukee.